Hey gang, Nick here. Wanted to answer a question from one person who kindly asked in the chat room. And I think everybody has the same question, and it's a really good question. They thought they were asking something stupid, but they're not. So it's about the VIX. It is the 16th of September. And the Thursday where we had a 5% dip, on Wednesday I had sent out saying, I smell a rat, I'm buying VIX calls. And I think that's what they were referring to, that they also own calls. So this is the question about the VIX. I'm holding the calls. Even with the VIX up today, I'm not seeing much movement. Is that normal? Yes. And my answer was the fact that literally just happened a minute ago. The fact that when the way I wrote it up that day is, okay, so if I wanted to short the markets these days and I'm buying puts, I'm losing money every time because the bulls are buying the dips, right? So every dip will come with what did not change? High VIX. It's still almost twice as expensive as it should be, almost. 32 is double the average-ish. So that period of time, it was in the high 20s, I think, maybe 30. And so I said, so what we have very little to lose if we buy VIX calls. So if the drop in the markets happen, the VIX calls will explode. If it doesn't, then they're not losing much, like the puts would if I bought puts in the SPY. So that was the concept of buying the VIX, upside potential in the VIX. As to how the profits come in the VIX, it's a very emotional stock. So I was lucky to be long VIX calls into this. What I was unlucky at is leaving my bet early because I had a quad on my hand. I quadrupled my money and I thought I was a genius. Little I know I could have paid off my house if I had stayed in the bet. But I did the right thing at the time, so I can't cry over that spilled milk. But you see, it either goes to the moon or it doesn't, right? So if we get one of these, we will see appreciation in the calls everywhere in the VIX. But 5% up day is really almost nothing for this. The only way to really make money in the VIX is to have a bad accident in the market. I don't wish anybody to lose money, but if somebody has a lot of longs and they want to buy some protection, this is probably the safest way. And the way I use the word safe is if I go out in time with the calls, like say to the end of the year, it's cheap enough to just sit tight with some an asset on your books that you don't believe in, but that will cover your ass if the floor goes under the stocks. So if I have like 100,000 risk in the stock market, couldn't I risk a couple $100 to set aside and put some upside? I'm not this is not to recommend to buy VIX, but this is to say it's okay that he owns VIX. Mario, he owns VIX, and he's saying, oh, what am I doing with this? It's not making me money. Well, the point was hey, I smell a rat. Let me protect myself. Or let me see if I can profit from it on a big spike. Meanwhile, I'm not risking much like buying puts. Like if I'm smelling a rat, what does that mean? If I smell trouble and I buy puts and trouble doesn't come, those puts will go, I lost my money. But the VIX is staying strong even on big up days. It drops a little bit, but it's holding strong. This used to be 12 and 11. Look. We used to be down here all the time. They say the average is 16, somewhere here. That's because it's one of those outliers. It's either nothing or a billion, so to speak. So let's see. If I put a 3 months chart on it, take the lines out. So this is a quarterly chart. You can see over decades. Like where's the dot-com bubble? So this is right here. And then this is the '08 crisis, and all the other crises, a flash crash, blah, 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 blah. And here we are, COVID. So they say that the average is 16. I did not calculate it, but I'm not going to argue with these guys. So visually, it doesn't look like an average, right? Right down here. But because of how it distributes itself, it's probably the mathematical average. But you see how it used to recently, it used to stay down in the 12s, 11s, 13s, 14 at the worst. And now it doesn't drop. It's just staying up there. It's staying at the neckline up here. So I can't trade it from the chart perspective really well. I don't trade it. I just use it for a statement like this. Hey, I smell a rat. Let me cover my butt by just renting insurance over a week, over a night. And by the way, from the note, The next day we had profits right away in those VIX calls. So if somebody booked them, fine. If somebody didn't do anything, they cost about the same now. And it's been 2 weeks, 2 trading weeks. So, and the markets rallied after the drop. They bounced hard. So had I bought puts down that day, I would have made money the first day. But if I didn't book it, I would have lost my shirt, because any pop in the market will kill the puts in the market or the bets in the stocks. So yes, it's okay and it's normal, because the VIX is an emotional thing and it goes in bursts. I guess that would be it. All right, Nick signing out.